Here, power belongs to no single ruler. Each time the sun shifts, the rules of the game begin to change. The day is a race against time. The dark is the hour of ambush. And every 24 hours, the clock of survival returns everything to the starting line. So, who truly rules the savannah? There is a strange truth on the African grassland that few ever notice. The fastest creature on the planet must live on edge, eating in haste as though on the run. When the first light breaks, the ground is still cool with dew. A slender form glides through the grass. Far off, great golden masses are still lost in sleep. They share one grassland, yet the fates of these two are split apart by the sun. One rules when the day is bright, the other reigns when night falls, and neither trespasses on the other's share. The one who wakes before dawn is a solitary cheetah. Two black lines run from the corners of its eyes down to its muzzle, like tears that never dry. It must strike right now while the ground is still cool and the thieves haven't yet woken. For a cheetah, just a few degrees of temperature can decide victory or defeat. Flattening itself in the tall grass, it narrows its eyes on the distracted prey. Step by step, it closes the distance, while the whole herd of gazelle remains utterly unaware. Suddenly, bursting into a sprint, it takes just 3 seconds to reach 110 kilometers per hour. Its forepaw hooks the gazelle's flank, slamming the prey down before clamping the throat until it goes limp. Yet even with the prey gone still, the hunter still cannot touch it. That sprint has burned through all its oxygen, forcing it to lie collapsed and panting for 10 full minutes. And that thick, pungent scent drifts on the morning breeze, guiding others to the spot. It eats in haste, racing against time, lifting its head again and again to glance around in worry. That worry soon becomes reality. From the grass to the north, 3 gray shapes with hulking humped shoulders trudge toward the carcass, tracing the scent of blood on the wind. These are 3 hyenas, brazen scavengers that don't even bother to stalk. The cheetah's head jerks up at once, its gaze wavering between the prey and the uninvited guests. It dares not risk fighting to keep it, and can only turn its back and walk away in regret. With such a fragile body, a single small wound would mean the end of its whole hunting life. The 3 thieves calmly dig into the leftover meat, gorging without a shred of caution. A stretch away, the cheetah stands helpless, its belly still hollow, blood still lingering at the corner of its mouth. The sun now hangs high, drying the last drops of dew. For the cheetah, the rising heat is the bell marking time's end, closing off every chance to hunt. It slinks off to the nearest acacia, sinking down into the rare patch of shade. Through the sweltering noon to come, the savannah will fall silent, waiting for the night shift to begin. By midday, the sun beats down like fire, heat shimmering up in waves. The cheetah dozes beneath the tree, the hyenas hide in their dens, and the whole land lies still and waiting. Right beneath a dense thicket far off, 4 great golden masses still lie motionless. These are the lionesses, several times the size of the cheetah, deep in sleep since early morning. They sleep away the entire day, waiting only for nightfall to begin the hunt. To make up for their heavy, slow bodies, they have overwhelming strength and a coordinated pack style of hunting. As the sun sinks lower and the heat begins to fade, the great bodies finally stir. One by one, they rise sluggishly, stretch and yawn wide, baring their cold, sharp fangs. They have gone hungry since the day before, when the last hunt ended in failure. Their hollow bellies now make these hunters all the more reckless and merciless. Their first task is to drink at the dry stream, then stroll leisurely along the edge of their domain. Now and then they pause to claw at tree trunks, leaving scent marks to declare the land has an owner. Crossing the grassland, they come upon a herd of buffalo grazing at ease. But the whole pride only stands and watches in no hurry to act because the sky is still light. They wait patiently for the dark when the buffalo's eyes become nearly useless. A lion's eyes have a reflective layer that turns even the faintest light into a deadly advantage. Then the sun dies out behind the tree line, the golden grass turning gray before sinking into the dark. Beneath the young moon, pairs of eyes flicker faintly, cold and full of killing intent. Under the moonlight, the golden shapes slide smoothly across the grass. About 100 meters off, the buffalo stand clustered at rest, only a few distracted eyes still keeping watch. They split into two directions, silently circling the prey in an invisible pincer. Their target is an old buffalo standing apart at the edge, its hind legs already trembling and weakened by the years. The leader crouches down 10 meters from the target, waiting patiently. Luck is with them. The night wind blows from the prey toward the hunters, so the victim cannot catch their scent. Suddenly, the whole pride lunges out as one, dark shapes converging from every side. The old buffalo startles awake, but in the darkness, it cannot tell how many are rushing in. The leader springs onto the broad back, gripping tight with all four legs. The prey thrashes and twists to shake it off, but another has already closed in, sinking its teeth into the throat. The struggle wakes the whole herd, hundreds of heads turning in confusion toward the chaos. In the pitch-black night, they cannot tell their own kind from the hunters. Suddenly, a massive bull buffalo charges straight into the melee with all its might. A thunderous ram flings the third lioness away, sending it sprawling with a roar of pain. Not stopping there, it wheels around to land another blow on the one just downed. But in the black night, its horns only graze the lioness's body by a hair, missing that life or death gap. The struggle drags on through the thick darkness, dust rising to blur the moonlight. Lion shapes and buffalo shapes blur together, until it's impossible to tell hunter from prey. But aging strength cannot hold out forever. The animal buckles at the knees and topples over. The hunters instantly clamp down on its neck and muzzle, tightening until the victim stops thrashing. The rest of the herd, once the cries fall silent, gradually drift away. One by one, they turn their backs into the darkness, abandoning their ill-fated companion behind them. The whole pride feasts at ease beneath the moonlight. Unlike the cheetah at dawn, The night has become an ally for these pack hunters. Yet even the midnight feast is not left in peace. From the grass to the east, hoarse, rasping laughter echoes closer and closer. It's a pack of 8 hyenas, slinking out from the thick darkness. They circle in an arc at the edge of the kill, greedy eyes locked onto the meat before them. Each time the diners bow their heads, the waiting pack quietly creeps a few steps closer. They need no confrontation, only the patience to wait for those bellies to fill. Once full, the big cats sluggishly wander off in search of a place to rest. That's all the scavengers were waiting for. They surge in at once, fighting over whatever remains. With some of the strongest jaws around, they crunch clean through even the hard bones. On a nearby acacia branch, several dark shapes still perch motionless, patiently waiting their turn. These are the vultures, ones who only begin their day when the sun comes up. And so, around a single carcass, each species follows a biological rhythm all its own. The eastern sky pales, turning from black to gray, then blushing pink. The first light of morning spreads across the grassland, laying bare the buffalo's skeleton and the scavengers picking it clean. As the sun rises, the vultures swoop down to gather what's left after the hyena's meal. In the distant thicket, the 4 lions have closed their eyes, sinking into their daytime sleep. At that same moment, on the dew-soaked grass to the east, a slender form slowly rises to its feet. Still with those 2 black lines beneath its eyes, it stretches wearily and gazes out over the plain. A few hundred meters away, 4 lions sleep buried beneath the acacia, bellies full of buffalo. Right near them, a fresh herd of antelope grazes carefree on the dewy young grass. It lowers itself once more, the muscles in its hind legs drawing taut. Its eyes fix on a gazelle grazing carefree in the dew, its whole body dead still, waiting for the instant to launch. And on the acacia branch to the south, a vulture has already quietly taken its perch. Its eyes trace down over the grassland, patiently awaiting the outcome of the chase to come. Across the grassland, hundreds of buffalo slowly move as one massive black block. Amid that sea of hooves, a small being has just left its mother's womb. The calf lies flat on grass, long legs folded awkwardly, eyes not yet fully open, nostrils flaring, inhaling grass scent for the first time. It's the smallest one, nestled within the giant herd. Mother buffalo immediately lowers down, using rough tongue to lick calf dry from head to toe. Pungent amniotic scent spreads far on wind, drawing predators faster than any sound. Calf must stand up very quickly. Front legs, just extended, already slip falling. Hind legs push up, then buckle down. It keeps tilting and tumbling time after time. Grassland makes no room for the slow-footed. While calf still struggles, predators have already caught signals on wind and silently press toward the herd. Finally, after 7 falls, calf also stands steady on 4 legs. That moment is very significant because now it can keep pace with entire herd steps. When hyena arrives, adult buffalo immediately close into a circle, pointing curved horn pairs outward, hiding calf safely in the encirclement center. Seeing that towering wall, hyena gives up, seeking easier prey. Its eyes pause on another calf of same age, having wandered too far from herd's encirclement. No herd sheltering, no horns defending. Small calf has no chance remaining, and its fate is the coldest warning for anyone daring to stray from the herd. Every day, calf steps close beside mother amid dense flowing herd. The moment mother changes direction or stops, it immediately follows suit, reading every movement of the herd. At every waterhole, mother buffalo doesn't plunge down drinking immediately. She stands still a moment, ears continuously rotating toward riverside reed beds, searching for hidden dangers. When entire herd lowers heads to drink, calf does the same, but it always stands on the inside amid massive bodies and dozens of horn pairs pointing out like a black wall. Calf doesn't grow up on mother's milk alone. It matures amid hundreds of vigilant eyes and countless horn pairs ready to turn in one direction when danger arrives. Through passing years, two bone ridges on forehead will fuse into a solid, hard shield. That's not just a protective helmet for head, but also weapon for every battle ahead. But that's a matter for the future. Right now, when shield hasn't yet grown, a pack of over 10 wild dogs has arrived, making calf panic running into herd center. One claw still managed to scratch calf's shoulder, drawing blood. But immediately, herd closes tight circle of sharp horn tips, forcing entire wild dog pack to hesitate, then retreat. Scratch will heal. Skin layer on its body keeps thickening through years. When mature, African buffalo skin is over 2 centimeters thick, evolved to withstand fangs and claws across generations. Each green grass season passes. Shield on forehead grows thicker, horn pair grows longer. Then two bone ridges from different years also spread to meet each other, covering the once smooth forehead entirely. Its horn pair curves down on both sides, then turns upward like two fishhook blades. That horn style isn't for stabbing, but for sliding underneath, then hurling enemies high. Now, buffalo is stocky muscle mass weighing over 600 kilograms. Pitch black bone shield on forehead is hardest point, an impenetrable defensive plate. Another male approaches, stares straight into its eyes. In buffalo society, that gaze is a challenge, and for first time, young buffalo doesn't back away at all. Both simultaneously lower heads, bone shield and horn pair, both pointing toward opponent. On grassland, this is the opening ritual for every power determination contest. Two massive bodies charge straight at each other. Sound of shields colliding echoes like rock striking rock, while porous bone layer inside quietly absorbs most of collision force to protect skull. Neither yields. Two shields press tight against each other, four legs gripping ground, 2,000-pound bodies pushing and shoving, making hooves churn ground into deep furrows. Finally, other male tires. Hind legs slip long, then turns leaving. Winner's shield still intact. Not a single crack after dozens of collision strikes. Cow group advances around the victor. One gently rubs head against its shoulder. Right to pass on bloodline only belongs to one strong enough to stand firm after every confrontation. That porous shield withstood even a gore from a male weighing the same. What has withstood that terrifying impact's force means predators' fangs and claws can also barely penetrate. Dry season arrives. Buffalo herd again begins journey seeking new grass source. But hidden in tall grass along the way, yellow eyes have silently tracked them for long. That's a lion pride. They understand one adult male buffalo cannot be brought down by a single individual, but requires entire groups' coordination. They choose one old buffalo that has fallen behind, slower than entire herd. Then entire pride simultaneously charges out, surrounding prey and cutting off retreat path to kindred. From multiple directions, they all lunge in. Two lock tight on hind legs, one clings onto back. Old buffalo staggers, then buckles knees, while entire herd panics, scattering fall. Lead one clamps tight onto scrub, but fang set only slips smooth on hard bone layer. Porous structure inside shield has neutralized bite force, making the clamp harmless. Another aims for throat, familiar move to make prey stop breathing. But buffalo's neck too sturdy. Its jaw cannot fully encircle to squeeze tight. Thanks to solid shield and muscular neck, old buffalo still stubbornly holds out few more minutes. Then suddenly, entire herd fleeing in distance simultaneously turns back. Leading that army is exactly the small calf from back then, one who once fell 7 times before standing on the first day. Now commanding entire herd, charging straight into lion pride. Just one head toss, fishhook horn pair has hurled the one riding old buffalo's back flying. Following is hundreds of pitch black muscle masses, simultaneously charging like a storm. Before forest of horn tips rushing from every direction, lion pride has to release prey and flee. For first time, Don'tsen Fern. Those crowned rulers must tuck tail fleeing before prey. Old buffalo strains to stand, hind legs still bleeding. On horn shield at forehead, only a few fang scratch marks, but no tooth reached bone. Entire herd clusters around, escorting old comrade into safety within encirclement. One who was once sheltered now stands at front line, serving as shield for kindred. Then journey also brings entire herd before a river, final boundary before promised land. No choice remaining, they bravely plunge into the water. Each one cautiously wades in, disturbing eerily calm water surface. Beneath silt layer, ancient predators have silently followed along. Suddenly, water beneath buffalo's feet explodes. A crocodile springs out, locking tight on hind leg. Bite with terrifying force holds prey, determined to drag it to river bottom. Yet it chose the wrong prey. Nearly 700 kilograms weight plus 4 legs planted deep into mud bottom makes buffalo immovable as stone, despite crocodiles straining to drag and pull. Increasingly, more individuals rush to press close to riverbank, forcing crocodile to slowly loosen bite, then silently retreat into murky water. Buffalo herd doesn't stop. Each massive body follows the next, continuing forward, only leaving few faint blood streaks and gradually calming ripples behind. Green grass shore finally appears. Buffalo, who once entered the world amid kindred's encirclement, now stands at herd's edge, contributing to that very solid wall itself. Dusk paints deep grass sea golden. Wind again carries new scents, signaling another story beginning far on the horizon. Somewhere behind shifting grass, another pair of eyes has just opened. This place has never belonged to one species. Each dusk is start of another life. The rains have just passed, and the savanna wakes in lush green. Following the new growth, hundreds of thousands of herbivores pour back in, creating the largest migration on the planet. The most numerous are the wildebeest. Moving among them are zebras and impala. In the distance, the tall necks of giraffes rise above the acacia canopy. But the fertile grassland has never belonged only to the grazers. Every day, somewhere in the vast sea of grass, individuals are separated from the herd and disappear. Lions hunt the slowest. Hyenas seek out the weakest. Wild dogs chase calves that have strayed from their mothers. And when it is all over, vultures clean up whatever remains. But the following day, the savanna is still crowded, and the season after that. For thousands of years, these herds have never run out, though death is always present. The answer lies a few dozen kilometers away. Across stretches of low open grassland, hundreds of thousands of female wildebeest are gathering in the same place. They choose the open ground not for concealment. Here in the savanna, where there is almost nowhere to hide, their greatest weapon is numbers. Then calves begin to arrive one after another. Mothers quickly lick the still wet coat dry. And within just minutes, the newborns must already be ready for the first run of their lives. But the peak of calving also alerts every predator. The scent of afterbirth and the calls between mother and calf carry on the wind, drawing spotted hyena clans to the grassland. The open ground allows the wildebeest to spot them early. But this time, the predators have no need to hide. Prey is appearing densely everywhere. One calf is taken before it can stand. Another loses its mother in the sea of its own kind. Calls ring out across the calving ground, but nothing can stop it. The mothers call frantically across the calving ground, but they cannot hold back the tide. There are too many predators, and they barely need to exert themselves to bring down calves this young. But even predators have limits. When bellies are full and energy runs out, they lie down in the grass even though food still surrounds them on all sides. In a single day, dozens of calves may disappear. But at the same time, thousands of others have just been born. Life arrives faster than death. That is the first secret of the savanna. Unable to protect every calf, they choose to produce more than the hunters can take. And while the hyenas are satisfied, the surviving calves quietly grow stronger. Every hour that passes, their legs become steadier and their chances of survival increase. Zebras gradually join the migration. Moving alongside other species, every individual is safer than it would be alone. The stream of animals stretches out, winding across the endless savanna. But that stream does not travel alone. In the faded grass ahead, a lioness lies pressed flat to the ground, patiently waiting for one mistake. She has locked onto an impala, grazing at the edge of the herd. Moving forward in silence, she lets the distance between herself and the prey shorten with every step. Just as the lioness is about to launch, the impala suddenly raises its head. Eyes positioned on the sides of its skull allow it to detect the hunter even while still facing away. Too late to stay hidden, the lioness springs forward, but the impala has already bolted, changing direction continuously until the chase ends quickly in failure. Before she has even stopped, she spots another opportunity. A zebra has drifted too close. The lioness lunges, both front paws driving into the prey's flank and pinning it to the grass. But the zebra is much larger and stronger. It kicks out furiously, breaks free of the talons, and drives straight into the middle of the herd, where the stripes are rolling in chaos. In that swirl of black and white, the lioness's eyes can no longer pick out a target. When the dust settles, the entire herd has moved far away, leaving the lone hunter behind. Two consecutive failures, but the hunger still does not allow this hunter to stop. Further away, a mother giraffe and her calf become the last hope. She creeps forward again through the low grass, but then she suddenly stops. From the opposite direction, another lion is also silently closing in on the calf. The one who arrived first loses patience. It suddenly launches toward the calf, but the mother giraffe immediately spins around and delivers a powerful rear kick that sends the attacker flying off the ground. Witnessing a kick that could end a grown predator, the lioness abandons the idea. She turns away, closing a day of failed hunting on the grassland. But not every hunter accepts going hungry. On the eastern savannah, the wild dog pack has already begun its march. They run in a long line, keeping the same stride together, heading toward where the herds are resting. Ahead, the grassland is still peaceful. Zebras and impala continue grazing. Buffalo are scattered under the afternoon sun, and the first lookout belongs to a creature that is part of no particular herd. A giraffe stands in the open, its eyes nearly 5 meters above the ground, seeing further than any other. Its head turns slightly, and the zebras immediately raise theirs. From the zebra herd, the alertness quickly spreads to nearby impala groups. Heads rise one by one, ears turning to face the same direction. Within minutes, the entire grassland has changed. Rest periods end, heads lift from the grass, and hundreds of bodies tense together in readiness. Because on the savannah, news always travels faster than the hunter. When the wild dogs are still far away, the herds already know danger is coming. The pack immediately fans out to approach from multiple directions. Among the countless moving bodies, the entire pack locks onto a calf standing at the edge of the buffalo herd. The chase begins. Panic sends the calf bolting, and within just a few short seconds, The gap between it and the herd has started to widen. But this time, the massive bodies behind it do not run. Every adult buffalo simultaneously turns, moving quickly toward the isolated young one. Dozens of pairs of horns point outward together, forming a living wall. Faced with that fortress, the dog pack is forced to halt and look for another opportunity. The defensive circle gradually opens. The calf wanders back into the middle of the herd and the horns lower. Within minutes, the grassland is peaceful once more. In the distance, the impala herd continues to move. The zebra stripes still stretch across the horizon, as though the chase that just happened never occurred. The wild dog pack has gone. The buffalo herd moves on steadily, carrying with them the calf that the whole group just reclaimed together. But somewhere else on the savannah, new lives are still being born. The spaces just emptied have already quietly begun to fill again. That is how the grassland has operated for millions of years. Life lost in one place is born again in another, in a cycle that has never stopped. Each new generation enters the world with faster legs, sharper eyes, and instincts sharpened by countless generations that came before. And so the predators have never lacked for prey, but the grazing herds have also never disappeared, even though some individuals do not return every day. And perhaps that is the greatest secret of the savannah. Not how to avoid being hunted, but how to ensure that life always returns after every hunt. Rehome. On a dry acacia branch, a martial eagle sits motionless as though carved into the sky. Its sharp eyes sweep slowly across the ground below, missing no movement. At the base of the acacia, the mouth of a rabbit burrow is visible. A rabbit pokes its head out to scent the air, then takes a few steps out to graze, hind legs still angled toward the burrow ready to retreat. The eagle tilts its head and locks onto the target, but the prey is only 2 steps from the burrow entrance and would dive inside before the talons could make contact. Yet the hunter cannot wait. It folds its wings and dives straight down like an arrow, talons extended. But the rabbit hears the wind rushing and springs backward into the burrow. The eagle already knows it has lost the prey. The eagle beats its wings back to the same branch. It tilts its head to look down at the dark burrow entrance where the prey just vanished. A breakfast that slipped from its talons within arm's reach. The eagle missed because it struck half a second too early. Even the Lord of the Sky, with its eyes and speed, can miscalculate by a single moment. Morning sun stretches across the open grassland all the way to the horizon. Beside a bush, a cheetah lies flat, intently watching a gazelle grazing slowly in the distance. To be certain, it needs to close to within 50 meters before accelerating. But across that open expanse, one step too many, and the prey detects it. Losing patience, it bursts from the bush like a bolt of lightning, reaching nearly 100 km within 3 strides. But the gazelle has already spotted it and bolts when the cheetah is still halfway there. The cheetah pursues for 10 more seconds, then slows, its body already overheated. When the gazelle disappears beyond a distant rise, it stops in the middle of the grassland and sits panting. This is the paradox of the fastest runner. The harder it sprints, the faster it burns out. One missed lunge is not only a lost meal, but an entire afternoon of recovery. But on the grassland, there is a species that does not need to be the fastest, only the most relentless. At midday, a pack of wild dogs is herding an impala straight toward a marsh. The blazing sun pours down on the grassland beside the marsh. The wild dogs take turns leading the pace. When one tires, another surges forward, relentlessly tracking the impala for more than a kilometer. With skilled sharp turns, the impala continuously changes direction looking for a gap. But the wild dogs do not let up for a second, pushing it steadily toward the edge of the marsh. The impala does not slow. It drives straight into the water. Each powerful stroke carries it across to the far bank, leaving the entire pack behind. The whole pack pulls up at the water's edge, eyes fixed on the escaped prey. One touches a paw to the mud, then steps back. The duckweed covering the murky surface makes them hesitate. The dog closest to the bank just leans down when the duckweed directly in front of it explodes upward, mud and water spraying everywhere. It leaps sideways in time, barely avoiding the first snap, then turns and scrambles back up the bank. But the mud is slippery and its foot gives way. That is all the crocodile needed. It drives forward with the momentum, clamps onto the dog's hind leg, and drags it back toward the murky water. The wild dog thrashes frantically, tearing free from the crocodile's jaws, and crawls back near the bank. But the predator does not let go. It lunges again, bites onto the dog's neck, and pulls it back. Two dogs on the bank drive in, biting the back and flank of their packmate and hauling it upward. A fierce struggle erupts, but the crocodile is stronger, pulling the animal inch by inch away from the bank. Then every movement seems to stop at once. The dogs on the bank fall silent, eyes fixed on the flat water surface. Suddenly, the wild dog surges upward one final time, summoning every last reserve to tear itself onto the bank. The wild dog barks and bares its teeth in a threat display, forcing the crocodile to retreat into the water. As the stirred mud settles, the truth becomes clear. The dog that just escaped has already lost a leg. The entire pack gathers around the injured one in protection, eyes locked on the water. They do not abandon their packmate, but a member that cannot run cannot last long. Beneath the duckweed, the crocodile silently sinks and swims away. That perfect ambush, in the end, yielded nothing. The prey escaped. On the far side of the marsh, the impala stands and watches across the water. The one that was just chasing it now lies at the water's edge, missing a leg, surrounded by the silent watch of the pack. Then it turns and walks, unhurried, into the wet grass. Only the three-legged one is left behind with its wounds. Its days of hunting have ended here. The wild dog pack still stands close, unwilling to leave. But a pack that does not hunt means a pack that goes hungry, and the midday sun is burning through energy that no one can earn back. The wild dog pack lingers beside their packmate. As the sun tilts toward gold, not far away, a new confrontation is quietly forming in the yellow grass. The lion pride drags its starved bodies across the grassland, bellies sunken after an entire day without a kill. Then they stop. Ahead, a bull buffalo grazes alone, separated from the herd. To the lion pride, this looks like a gift. A large prey, alone, with its head down and its guard lowered. Broad shoulders, curved horns, but no formation to protect it. But that appearance deceives them. A fully grown male buffalo carries nearly a ton of muscle, with horns capable of launching anyone who dares press close. Unaware of this danger, the lion pride quietly spreads out and circles wide to the rear. The afternoon breeze blows against them, masking their scent, each step tightening the encirclement. The lioness from behind springs forward, talons finding grip on the shoulder. But the buffalo reacts instantly. 4 legs planted, a powerful sweep of the horns sending the lioness off its back. Without pausing, the buffalo charges directly at the male lion. Nearly a ton driving forward, horns aimed straight. The male leaps aside but does not escape the horn's point. The male lion is wounded in the body. The entire pride now understands this is no easy prey, and one by one, they turn and withdraw, not one of them looking back. The buffalo stands in the middle of the clearing, heaving breath, body lightly wounded, but its horns still bear the marks of the enemy. The shadows of the lions have disappeared entirely. The buffalo has returned to the herd, and the lion pride lies sprawled, licking wounds. The price for misjudging their prey is a day of empty stomachs and battered bodies. But the day has not yet closed. At a bend in the slow-moving river, the final mistake is waiting to be made. The line between life and death is just one step placed in the wrong spot. Beneath the soft mud along the murky riverbank, a Nile crocodile, over 5 meters long, has been lying in ambush since morning, so motionless that even the current has forgotten its presence. A zebra herd arrives to drink, calmly lowering their muzzles to the water. The one standing closest to the bank is now exactly 1 stride away from the jaws that have been waiting there for many hours. The crocodile launches upward, mud flying in all directions, jaws opening wide aimed at the front legs of the nearest zebra. But the lunge skids on the soft mud, deflects by a few centimeters. That margin is enough. The herd jolts into panic and bolts from the bank. The crocodile crashes back into the mud, jaws empty, its all-day ambush position now revealed. It settles back into the mud, watching the bank empty. It will have to wait many more hours until another herd forgets the danger and returns to drink at this exact spot. As the sun drops low, the grassland gradually returns to quiet. 5 hunts took place today, and strangely, all 5 hunters ended the day with empty bellies. Each prey survived in its own way, one through speed, one through its horns, one through the water, one through the herd. The only thing they had in common, none of them made a fatal mistake. And every hunter that failed did so for the same single reason. One moment of impatience, one foot placed in the wrong spot, one target chosen in error. On this grassland, that is all it takes. The savannah softens, traces fade. Today belonged to the hunted, because every hunter made exactly one mistake, and one mistake is enough. But tomorrow, the sun will rise. The hunters will stalk again. The prey will run again. And the grassland will again wait to see who makes the first mistake. The wild boar suddenly freezes, its snout still covered in earth. From within the leaf litter, an unfamiliar scent has just drifted past on the wind, and the hair along its spine goes rigid. It raises its head, eyes sweeping across the brown leaf floor, then realizes the space behind it is empty. The group has moved far ahead. It is alone in the middle of the forest. 10 meters away, behind a fallen trunk, two pupils have narrowed and are watching without blinking. The jaguar presses flat against the ground, its spotted coat dissolving into the forest shadow almost perfectly. The jaguar launches from its hiding place, muscle driving through the dry leaves. 10 meters disappear in an instant before the boar can react. The impact is clean and decisive. The boar manages only a few desperate struggles before lying still and helpless among the damp leaf litter. But its chance of survival had already passed some time before. At the very moment it hesitated between two options without committing to either. In that forest, fate is decided by one moment of hesitation. And beside this river, everything will depend on whether one dares to hold on or let go. The bald eagle perches on a dry branch at the water's edge. 3 missed dives since morning have soaked the wings progressively heavier, and its strength has been draining with every passing hour. Below, salmon keeps surging through the fast current. Then a large silver body launches upward, enough to fill the belly for the entire day, but heavy enough to pull it under. The eagle dives anyway, wings folded tight, talons extended forward. After hours of nothing to show, it decides to stake everything it has left on this one strike. Talons pierce through scales in the white of the current. Immediately, a violent thrash pulls the entire eagle down toward the water surface, both wingtips beating hard against the rushing flow. The fish shows no sign of weakening. It continues driving downstream with every ounce of strength, hauling the hunter above as the feathers grow heavier with water. Let go and lose the biggest meal of the day. Hold on and be dragged deeper. And in a split second, the eagle makes its choice. Nearly a minute passes before the talons find the edge of a rock. The eagle drags the fish onto the bank, wings waterlogged, not yet able to take off. It holds the meal, but has also placed itself at its most vulnerable. And on the savannah, an opposite confrontation is beginning, where the prey is the one to strike. In the low grass, a cobra rears and spreads its hood facing a mongoose. At a glance, it looks as though the snake holds the upper hand. But the mongoose does not retreat. It sidesteps, then presses back in. The dense neck fur raised, its reflexes always one beat ahead of the snake's head. The cobra misses. Every lunge exposes a brief gap when the neck is fully extended, but has not yet pulled back. On the fourth strike, just as the head drops for an instant, the mongoose drives straight forward instead of retreating. The opening it has been waiting for has finally appeared. The small jaws lock behind the skull before the neck can retract. The snake coils back violently through the grass, but the fangs can no longer reach their target. In an instant, all roles are reversed. The mongoose wins not through venom or strength, but through the stubbornness to press all the way in. The mongoose swallows the last bite, wipes its muzzle on the grass, and walks away. The smallest creature on the grassland, but victorious because it drove forward at the exact moment every other instinct said to pull back. In a few seconds, it reversed its fate. But beside the Mara River, another hunter can wait for hours for just one decisive moment. The Nile crocodile has been lying still under the mud at the bank's edge since morning, jaws level with the water surface. Its two eyes are nothing but two dark points, reading the world through vibrations in the mud. A zebra herd comes down to drink, their front hooves touching the shallows. The crocodile picks up the signal and locks its response onto the individual standing closest to the mud edge, head lowered. Its body has already entered a state of readiness, the tail compressed into the mud, holding all the force for one single launch from the still bottom. Mud erupts as the jaws rise out of the water, opening wide past the bank's edge. But the zebra pulls its leg back in time. The bite grazes through empty space by just a few centimeters. The entire herd breaks from the bank in chaos, mud and water churned murky. When the movement stops, there is only empty water and traces already erased. After hours in ambush, the single lunge ends with a very small miscalculation. Just one instant of reflex from the prey changed everything. The crocodile quietly sinks back beneath the mud. The water closes flat within seconds, erasing every trace of the strike that just took place. The next herd will come here to drink, with no idea the danger is still intact just below the mud. Today was only the first attempt. One second off for the crocodile, a whole day lost. And nearby, a more desperate struggle has just erupted as the wild dog pack has just dragged a young buffalo calf away from the herd. The wild dogs hold the calf pinned and bellowing as it thrashes, maintaining relentless pressure, while the entire buffalo herd keeps moving forward, not one turning back. But the calf's cry has reached its mother. She stops, swings her head around, then breaks from the herd and charges back toward the desperate call. The pack shifts pressure onto the mother, maintaining the encirclement from multiple directions, while the calf moves close beside her and the situation shifts into a direct standoff. The wild dogs drive in from multiple directions, forcing the mother to keep turning to block them. But each turn grows a little slower, a little heavier. Then from the distance, the drumming of hooves closes in. Several males from the herd have heard the signal and come charging back, forcing the wild dog pack to scatter. The calf runs safely into the middle of the herd. The mother holds the rear in defense, her heavy body shielding from behind, each slow step exchange for her calf's survival. The wild dog pack slowly withdraws, watching the buffalo herd disappear into the tall grass, the chance of victory dissolving right before them. The patch of grass that was just a site of life and death struggle now holds nothing but wind. the hunt closes in a way the wild dogs had not planned. The buffalo herd leaves the savannah in the afternoon light, the mother walking last. The wild dog pack lies on a rise, watching their shapes fade into the distance in silence. On the rocky bank, the eagle sits beside the cold fish carcass. And beneath the mara, the crocodile has sunk back to the bottom, patient for another opportunity. The mother buffalo walks slower than the herd, each step heavier than the last, but still following the shape of her calf, growing smaller ahead. On this planet, it is not always the strongest that survives. It is the one that makes the right decision at the right moment. And once the choice is made, nature records the result immediately. In the papyrus swamps of Uganda, a shadow nearly 1.5 meters tall stands motionless in shallow water. Amber eyes looking straight ahead, the enormous beak curving downward as though smiling. That is the shoebill. With a wingspan of more than 2.5 meters and a face that seems to have stepped out of prehistoric times, it is one of the strangest birds in Africa. Suddenly, the two edges of the beak slam together. A sharp, dry crack echoes across the swamp like wood striking wood, the distinctive sound of this species. Then everything sinks back into silence. The shoebill almost never moves, but its eyes continue tracking every small ripple spreading out through the reeds. Beneath the black mud is the African lungfish, one of the most ancient fish species still in existence. Though it lives underwater, it must periodically surface to breathe. That is the weakness the shoebill exploits. Air bubbles rising from the bottom mud reveal where the lungfish is hiding, and the shoebill only needs to stand and wait at exactly that spot. 10 minutes, then half an hour pass. It does not stir. In this hunt, what determines success is not speed, but absolute patience. But the swamp has never truly been still. A hippopotamus wades through, heavy legs churning up the bottom mud and sending waves rippling across the surface. The shoebill immediately adjusts position behind it. It knows that disturbances at the bottom often cause fish hiding in the mud to lower their guard. The hippo passes out of sight and the mud gradually settles. The shoebill stops, eyes locked onto the spot in the water where air bubbles have begun rising steadily. The long neck muscles begin to compress very slowly, loading force for a single strike. Yet the expression on its face does not change at all, still blank, still unhurried. Then the lungfish pushes its head up and opens its mouth to gulp air. At that exact moment, the shoebill drops its entire body forward, head, neck, and body driving down like a falling hammer. The lungfish still thrashes violently inside the shoe-shaped beak, but the hook at the tip of the bill holds it in place. Only seconds later, the prey has disappeared down the shoebill's throat. After swallowing, the shoebill stands still again at the water's edge. But this time, it does not look down at the swamp surface. It looks up to track a wing shadow that has just passed overhead. That is an African fish eagle, wingspan nearly 2 meters. In this wetland, it is one of the most formidable rivals the shoebill faces. Drawn by the hunt that just unfolded, the eagle drops lower, circling the area of water where the lungfish was just pulled from the mud, probing for an opportunity. The shoebill does not retreat. It spreads its enormous wings wide and raises the shoe-shaped beak toward the rival in an unmistakable declaration. After a few circling passes, the eagle changes course and flies away. The shoebill folds its wings and returns to its familiar silent stance among the reeds. But what matters most to it is not on the water surface. Deep within the expanse of papyrus is a large nest of dry grass, where the next generation is beginning its life. Each breeding season, the shoebill typically lays 2 eggs. After more than a month of continuous incubation, the first chicks begin breaking through the thick white shell. They are born with fluffy gray down and a still stubby beak. It is hard to believe that these small bewildered chicks will one day rule the swamp. With each passing day, they begin leaving their resting spot, practicing balance on their long legs and observing every movement of the marsh around them. But the swamp does not provide enough food for both to grow. When the beaks begin to harden, the competition between the 2 siblings also begins. Very quickly, the larger one starts to gain the advantage. It always appears first whenever the parents bring fish back, and gradually pushes the younger one toward the edge of the nest. In the end, most nests are left with only 1 chick. The parents barely intervene, allowing that harsh competition to select the individual strong enough to reach adulthood. A few months later, the sole surviving chick has grown large enough to leave the nest and begin an independent life. The gray down has given way to adult plumage, and the shoe beak hardening steadily with time. One day, the spot it chooses is not beside lungfish bubbles, but a crocodile nest a few meters away, where the mother crocodile is lying guard over her just hatched young. The mother crocodile quickly registers the unusual visitor appearing near the nest. She holds her position, eyes never leaving the tall shadow standing at the water's edge. But the crocodile brain is wired to react strongly to movement. As the shoebill continues standing as still as a dry tree stump, the mother's vigilance slowly eases. Around the nest, tiny crocodiles, just a few days old, are swimming lazily about. Their still soft skin is exposed right within the sight line of the one waiting. The sun continues rising higher. The heat blankets the entire swamp, turning the mudflats around the nest into scorched dry ground under the midday sun. Meanwhile, the young are still too small to understand the danger. They splash and swim, drifting a little further from their mother's protective circle with every passing minute. In the end, the heat wins. The mother crocodile slides into the shallows to cool down, eyes still directed toward the nest, but her body has moved away. The moment of waiting has arrived. Between the mother and her young, there is now a few meters of shallow water, short enough for the shoebill to close in, but too far for the mother to intervene in time. Every step placed in the water is lighter than a falling leaf. In the swamp, even one small ripple could bring the mother crocodile turning back. The long neck suddenly bends downward. The shoe-shaped beak drives forward so fast that the naked eye can barely register it. By the time the water sprays upward, a young crocodile is already sitting inside the wide beak. The entire hunt ends in a single beat. Even the faint sound is enough to make the mother crocodile turn her head. She drives toward the nest, but everything is already too late. The shoebill swallows its prize clean, then quickly backs away from the water's edge. The distance just created is enough to avoid the desperate countercharge. Returning to the nest, the mother crocodile releases deep, low calls. But one of the young in her clutch will never answer again. The shoebill stops at another shallow stretch of water and stands still once more. That composure reveals no trace at all of the hunt that just took place. The face is unchanged, round eyes, curved beak, and an expression so blank it is almost comical. It is hard to believe it just took a life. From lungfish buried in the mud, to large fish beneath the reed beds, to young crocodiles, very few creatures in the swamp are entirely safe from that beak. And yet, after everything, it only stands there. No roar of dominance, no fierce chase, just a motionless shadow in the middle of the endless papyrus sea. And perhaps that is precisely what makes the shoebill one of the most formidable hunters in Africa. The more still it stands, the more the swamp has reason to be afraid. Eight small legs glide across damp earth after rain. The Sydney funnel web spider is drawing its first threads of silk, weaving a door of death right on the ground surface. In Australia, a continent isolated for tens of millions of years, even the smallest creature can carry the most fearsome weapon on the planet. In the funnel web, the male is usually smaller than the female, but its venom is more potent. Within its body is a trachotoxin, a neurotoxin of particular danger. A cricket accidentally touches a signal thread. From the bottom of the funnel, the spider launches upward, fangs driving deep and delivering venom in about 1/10 of a second. The prey quickly becomes paralyzed. That small meal restates a rule of this continent. Size does not determine the level of danger. When the dry season arrives, the damp soil gradually disappears. The male must leave the burrow and cross open ground, exposing itself to countless risks. It can bring down prey with a dose of venom smaller than a single droplet of dew. But in the rainforests of the north, another predator has chosen the complete opposite approach. Below the dry forest, a rock wallaby is leisurely grazing on young leaves beneath sparse canopy. Its wide field of vision makes it believe it is standing in a safe position. In the branches above, a scrub python quietly descends. A body as thick as a thigh wraps around the trunk, moving the heavy mass of muscle silently downward. This is the longest snake in Australia, capable of exceeding 5 meters. It needs no venom. Its coils alone are enough to squeeze the life from prey through sheer muscle. When the patterned head lowers to eye level, the wallaby finally recognizes the danger. But it is already too late. Every direction blocked by tree shadow and the descending snake. The strike unfolds right where the prey felt most safe. The muscular coils close in beneath the canopy, branches shaking violently, then going completely still. The struggle ends quickly. As the python begins to swallow its prey, the ground below trembles faintly with the footsteps of a creature weighing nearly 100 kilograms. The earth of Australia's interior cracks under blazing sun. A mob of red kangaroos grazes in the afternoon, young pressed close to the mother, a familiar sight in every image of Australia. But across this broad expanse, there is only one shallow pool left. Groups of kangaroos stand around the edge, and access to the water determines the order of the entire mob. Two males step forward from either side, broad shoulders, muscle taut beneath red fur, thick tails pressed to the ground like pillars supporting the entire body. They rear upright facing each other, both arms raised, then drive into each other. Punches landing on faces, wring dry in the hot air, neither side giving ground. When the balance has not yet broken, one shifts its weight onto its tail and drives both hind feet hard into the opponent's belly. Sharp claws tear skin, red dust rising in dense clouds. The one struck staggers backward, struggling to right itself. But the opponent is already pressing in, continuing to drive force, pushing it into a position with no way out. The male falls a third time and cannot rise. It breathes in rapid bursts, then springs up and backs away from the pool, defeated. It turns and leads its females away to find another source. The whole group gradually disappears across the sunlit grassland. The young one hops unsteadily at the rear, all heading along a strip of grass stretching to the horizon, not knowing whether water lies ahead. The winner remains beside the pool, breathing hard. Its mob moves in, muzzles touching the shallow water. That small pool was held by strikes that the weaker could not have won for themselves. The young one tucks into the mother's pouch, eagerly drinking the life delivered through each mouthful of milk. On the dry grassland, every drop of water today is exchanged for one more day of living. The male red kangaroo, weighing nearly 90 kilograms, fights with both arms and legs. It licks its forearms to cool down, the body carrying no sweat glands the way many other mammals do. Behind the familiar gentle appearance, the red kangaroo is in fact a survival fighter, ready to drive into combat to claim water for the entire mob. But even the winner is losing water with every breath. The water source drains a little more each day, and when it disappears, this grassland holds no place for anyone. Kangaroos use strength to secure water, but deep in the arid interior, there are creatures that live in an entirely different way, quietly, needing to fight no one for anything. The red desert of Australia's interior, where life seems impossible, yet a thorny devil still picks its way slowly across the sand, its body covered in sharp spines. Those spines are not for fighting. Each one carries a tiny groove that channels water. When dew condenses, the water flows along the skin and directly into the mouth. Every early morning, a thin dew settles across the desert. Hundreds of microscopic water droplets simultaneously flow across the spine-covered skin, gathering into an amount sufficient to keep it alive in the arid zone. Its skin shifts colors with the temperature, darkening to absorb heat in the cold, lightening to reflect intense sunlight when the ground burns. Behind its neck is a perfect false head. When attacked, it lowers its real head and presents the decoy from the rear. The predator lunges into a harmless empty space. Spines for collecting water, skin for regulating heat, false head for deception. The desert did not produce a creature, it produced a complete survival mechanism. Deep in the eucalyptus forest, sunlight filters through long drifting leaves. A koala curls on a high branch, half dozing, waking only long enough to eat. That slowness is the strategy. Eucalyptus leaves are low in nutrition and laced with toxins, so the koala sleeps most of the day to save energy for its liver working constantly to detoxify. The koala wakes from a long sleep. Eyes barely opening, it slowly reaches for the nearest eucalyptus leaf and puts it in its mouth, chewing slowly, a leaf that most mammals avoid entirely. But for the koala, this is a food source without competition. What is toxic to every other species nourishes it year-round, regardless of drought or heavy rain. After a few leaves, it closes its eyes again. A koala's day consists of almost only two states, eating and sleeping, with fewer than 1 hour of wakefulness. That very slowness creates an unusual advantage. Needing very little food, very little movement, very few enemies. The koala endures steadily right in the middle of a place where most other species struggle. Australia, an isolated land where every rule is overturned. The smallest carries the most fearsome venom. The gentlest fights the most fiercely. The thorny devil draws water from dew through its spines, while the koala turns toxic leaves into a meal exclusively its own. Each species has found a way out that exists nowhere else. None of this is an exception. It is the outcome of tens of millions of years of separation, where evolution quietly rewrote every definition of the strong and the surviving. And the koala still sleeps on the eucalyptus branch, opening its eyes only when the time comes to put one more leaf in its mouth. From the coastal rainforests to the endless red desert, life in Australia did not choose the easiest path. It chose the most extraordinary solutions in order to survive. And that is precisely what has made Australia one of the most unique evolutionary laboratories on the planet, where nature continues to astonish the world. The Sahara sand surface reaches over 60 degrees at midday. No creature dares venture out, except for tiny silver specks darting about on nimble legs. Those are silver ants, appearing only when the desert is at its most brutal. When every predator has retreated beneath the sand, they begin their brief race against time. Within just a few minutes, They sweep up every insect carcass on the surface, then vanish back into the earth. The desert surface is bare under the sun again, not a movement. But the Sahara is not dead. Beneath that scorched sand, countless eyes are still waiting for the temperature to drop before stepping out to hunt. Under a dune, inside a burrow far cooler than the surface, a creature waits for the heat to recede. At the burrow entrance, two pointed tips rise just above the sea of sand. The smallest fox in the world, the fennec carries the largest ears of any canine, catching the faintest sounds while helping the body shed heat. When the afternoon sun softens, it slowly opens its eyes. The ears turn slowly, listening for any movement, while the nose continuously tests the wind for news carried from far away. Finding the area around the burrow still quiet, it steps outside. The thick fur beneath its paws insulates the body from the residual heat still rising from the ground. The fox moves along the slope of a dune in the cooling afternoon light. Both ears keep shifting direction, filtering for faint sounds rising from beneath the sand. Suddenly it stops. Both ears point to the same spot ahead, where a scorpion is digging through the shallow sand below. The fox lunges, drives its muzzle into the sand, and digs it up. Seconds later, the scorpion is flung out. One bite behind the tail neutralizes the stinger. Then the jaws crunch through the hard shell. But one tiny scorpion barely touches a hungry belly. It moves along the base of a dune, searching for the next meal as dusk settles in. 10 minutes later, a mole cricket and a beetle are pulled from the sand. The dunes that lay silent all through the midday heat are now quietly alive with signs of life. The fox pauses on a sand mound, drawing in the passing wind. Then it stiffens, carried on. The breeze is a scent both familiar and alarming. About 300 meters away, a gray shape is moving steadily along a dune ridge. It is a striped hyena, one of the Sahara's most well-known opportunistic scavengers. Not as fast as the spotted hyena, but carrying an exceptionally sensitive nose. And right now, that nose has just caught the scent of the small fox. Now it is a contest of two senses across the desert wind. One listening for footsteps, the other tracking by scent. And both know the other is closing in. Instead of fleeing, the fox chooses to hide right in front of its enemy. It presses its body as flat as it can, ears pinned back, its sand-colored coat quickly dissolving into the desert surface. The hyena follows the scent trail. The distance keeps narrowing, but ahead there is nothing but sand and more sand. The nose says the prey is right here. The eyes see nothing. The hyena is now just 50 meters away. Then a scorpion crawls past right against the fox's muzzle. The unexpected contact makes it flinch. Both ears lift off the sand surface. That alone is enough to break the camouflage. The hyena snaps its head around. What its nose had been tracking has just appeared right before its eyes. The footsteps immediately quicken. The fox springs upright and bolts down the slope of the dune, its small light body moving as though skimming across the surface. Behind it, the hyena gives chase. Heavier, each stride sinking deeper with every step. The pursuit stretches across one dune slope after another. The fox keeps changing direction. Its compact body makes each turn easy, while the hyena has to recover its momentum after every swerve. The gap gradually widens. The desert does not favor the larger or the stronger. It favors whoever is best adapted to the sand underfoot. But the hyena does not give up. Hunger makes it more stubborn than usual. A fox, however small, is a meal worth expending effort for on the sand. By the third minute, the fox's breathing is coming in rapid bursts. The small body is heating up, every breath carrying away a little more of its precious limited moisture. Worse, across the open sandfield, there is nowhere dense enough to hide. The fox has no choice but to keep running, while the hyena presses closer with every stride, each lunge just about to close on it. And the direction changes have slowed. The distance shrinks with every beat. For the first time, the hyena sees the prey within reach. Just as the pursuit is about to be decided, an enormous shadow suddenly sweeps across the sand, and a third hunter has entered the game. The newcomer is the pharaoh eagle owl, the largest owl in North Africa. A wingspan of more than 1 meter, soft-edged feathers cutting through the air without a sound. Those enormous amber eyes take in every movement below. To the owl, both fox and hyena are prey, and it has already locked on to the smaller target. The owl dives, talons driving straight toward the small back. But the fox's ears catch the faintest sound of displaced air. It dodges sideways just before the talons make contact. Missing the fox, those sharp talons seize the hyena driving just behind. The hyena shudders and cries out in pain. And in the chaos, the fox has already broken away. But the hyena is not shaken. Ignoring the owl above, it pours every remaining ounce of effort into one target, each frantic stride eating up the distance. This time, the fox cannot dodge in time. The jaws lunge forward and clamp into the hind body. The fox cries out, struggling desperately, but the grip only tightens. At that exact moment of life and death, a shadow crashes down from above again. The owl driving in to contest the catch. The hyena recoils in alarm, its jaws involuntarily loosening for an instant. The fox seizes that moment, tears itself free, and drives down the dune slope, rolling onto the sand. Reaching the base of the dune, it trembles into the shelter of a sand mound and goes completely still. Above, the hyena is still searching, but the pursuit has cost too much. After a few futile sniffs at the wind, it finally turns and leaves with nothing. The fox stays motionless, not daring to stir, until its ears can no longer pick up a single footfall. Only then does it slowly raise its head, eyes darting across the sand in every direction. The fox steps out of hiding, exhausted and parched. It stands on the sand, draws in the wind, senses quiet in every direction. The hyena has gone, but the sky has not. Because the pharaoh eagle owl does not give up as easily as the hyena. It has been perched on a rock outcrop nearby, amber eyes locked onto the fox's hiding spot, waiting for exactly this moment. Now there is no more hyena, no more chaotic pursuit to take advantage of. Only the solitary fox and a hunter silently descending from behind. The fox's ears still catch the warning. But this time, the exhausted body has betrayed it. Before it can dodge, the talons have already locked down onto the small back. The owl beats its wings and rises, carrying its prey in its talons. The hyena trudges away with an empty belly, and the fox remains in the sand forever. When everything settles, the desert cools and the earth stirs quietly. From beneath the layers of sand, small creatures emerge one by one, resuming the familiar rhythm of life. In this place, there is no absolute victory. The hyena spent itself and came away with nothing. The fox escaped one threat only to fall to another. And the final share always belongs to the one that knows how to wait. Tomorrow morning, when the first ray of light touches the sand, another fox will push its ears above the burrow entrance. It too will dart out, hunt for food, and begin the same cycle of hunting in a new day. That is the largest desert on the planet, where life has never been something to take for granted. Here, surviving one more day is already a victory. Amid the still waters of North America, a hunter moves through almost without leaving a trace of its presence. Behind that graceful appearance are hunts that end faster than they begin. And in this place, a peaceful exterior is sometimes what makes nature most brutal of all. A North American marsh wrapped in thin early morning mist, reeds swaying softly in the breeze. Amid the shallow water, a tall figure appears, its blue-gray plumage blending into the marsh backdrop. In the middle of the wetland, the great blue heron emerges like a living spear, over 1.2 meters tall with a wingspan of nearly 2 meters, standing in silence, waiting for prey to step into range. As the early sun warms the water, a school of small fish swims past a submerged grass clump. The heron still motionless, only its amber eyes slowly tracking every movement below the surface. One fish separates from the school, closer still. The curved neck slowly lowers, each vertebra locking into position like a spring being quietly compressed. Then the neck releases in an instant. The head drives into the water like a lance. The surface explodes. And when the head rises again, a fish is pinned sideways in the long beak. It rotates the fish to the right angle and swallows it whole, a small bulge traveling down the throat. The body returns to its familiar posture, waiting for the next movement. But fish are only the simplest item on the great blue heron's menu. This elegant bird can swallow nearly anything that fits within its beak, which is over 20 centimeters long. At midday, a water snake slides along the grassy bank at the marsh's edge, seeking shade, unaware that it is moving toward a predator that even its own parents would avoid. The heron spots the snake, but does not lunge. It only paces slowly across the mud, quietly circling to cut off the prey's route back to the water. The snake raises its head and recognizes the danger, immediately turns to flee. But the S-curved neck has already lowered, ready to fire before the next movement. The beak drives down, the snake immediately coils tight around it. The great blue heron shakes sideways, then slams the prey hard against the surface, the mud. By the final slam, the snake's body begins to go limp, the coil loosening. The hunter shakes hard until the snake falls free of the beak, then grips it again and begins the process of swallowing. Several minutes of struggle disappear as quickly as they began. It stands motionless in the shallows once more, neck curved, feathers smooth, amber eyes already tracking the next movement. To the south of the marsh, where the water is deeper and the mud softer, a young American alligator, less than 30 centimeters long, glides slowly along the water's edge, learning to stalk and hunt. Only a few months old, it is still far too small to be at the top of the food chain, while it remains a target itself for larger creatures watching from around the marsh. The young alligator moves to the shallows, stops to observe, its underdeveloped hunting instinct leading it to mistake the gray shape ahead for nothing more than a dry log. It swims 1 more meter, then half a meter. The neck lowers, so slowly the water makes no ripple, locking onto the small creature busy paddling through the mud. In the blink of an eye, the beak clamps onto the baby alligator's body before it can react, then slams it repeatedly against the water. The prey struggles weakly and gradually goes still. The young alligator goes motionless. The creature that would have become the lord of the marsh has just disappeared into the mouth of a bird it would have frightened away once fully grown. As afternoon comes and the water warms, creatures grow more active, and to the north of the marsh, a mother mallard and her duckling swim slowly through the still water in single file. One duckling is pulled sideways by the current, falling behind, small feet kicking frantically, opening a dangerous gap between it and the protection of the group. The gray shape changes direction, unhurried, each step aimed directly toward the straggling duckling, while the mother continues swimming ahead, completely unaware the group is now one short. The prey swims across its path. One single movement, the beak snaps shut instantly, the yellow down disappears into splashing water, and the mother turns in alarm. The heron raises its head and swallows the duckling whole, leaving a flat water surface behind. The mother circles, searching uselessly, then continues moving as though nothing was lost. The heron stands motionless, the small ripples slowly fading. In a single day, several different prey have passed one after another through this hunting ground. The belly is not yet full. The stance in the middle of the marsh remains, because in the water around it, almost every movement can become food. Late afternoon, the heron's shadow stretches long across the water as a small frog touches a lily pad near the marsh's edge and vanishes instantly. It does not hunt by species, it hunts by opportunity, where any creature that appears at the right distance, the right size, at the right moment can disappear. Its weapon is not fang or talon, but a curved neck that can compress and then release in a flash, leaving prey no time to react. But speed is only half of it. The other half lies in the ability to stand completely still for so long that many creatures fail to recognize the danger standing right beside them. Long toes distribute its weight across the soft mud surface, allowing it to move silently through the hunting zone without being detected. In the low afternoon light, the heron continues moving into deeper water, where larger prey appears, reading the entire marsh like a living hunting map. A larger fish swims slowly near the bottom. The great blue heron watches from above, adjusting its angle of view to compensate for water refraction with high precision. It releases the neck. The head drives deeper than this morning. The large fish is pinned sideways in the beak, thrashing hard. The heron slams the prey into the water, stunning the fish, then swallows it whole. The belly grows heavier, the steps slower, but the eyes remain alert. Any creature that swims past triggers an automatic attack reflex. 7 hunts in a single day. No selecting by species, only selecting by distance. No chasing, only waiting. And when the moment comes, everything ends in the blink of an eye. Below the surface, life continues normally for fish and frogs, while the mother alligator can only protect her young within the limits of her own field of view. The mother duck leads her ducklings into dense reeds to reduce risk. But the marsh always holds more danger, and the 7 that exist today may be 6 tomorrow. The heron still stands motionless in the marsh, neck curved, eyes open like a living statue. But inside the stomach are bones, scales, and feathers, and the water surface reflects the heron's slender silhouette. But beneath the mud, organic remains are decomposing, gradually converting into the nutrients that sustain this entire ecosystem. That cycle maintains the recurring rhythm of hunting, as species continuously appear around the heron's feeding zone, forming a stable but ever-changing system of participants. The heron spreads its wide wings, glides low across the marsh surface, then settles onto the reed bed bank in the last of the afternoon light, completing a full day of hunting. The marsh slowly shifts its rhythm, smaller creatures becoming more active as the gray shape in the water has departed, reopening the space for the natural pulse of life to resume. Tomorrow morning, when the first ray of sunlight touches the water, the heron will already be standing motionless in the marsh, while a fish unknowingly swims gradually into striking range. But the rhythm of life in the marsh continues by natural instinct, as species keep moving through the water where the heron typically lies in ambush to hunt. The marsh landscape is nearly unchanged: shallow water, soft mud, and softly swaying reeds, concealing a motionless yet supremely effective predator. In nature, strength does not come in only one form. Some species win through venom, bringing down prey from the inside with a single bite. Some rely on muscle, crushing all resistance through raw power. 2 paths, 2 weapons, but both forged by the same law of survival. And the question remains, between venom and strength, which is the one that nature truly fears? At midday, The Namibian desert sinks into scorching heat. The air shimmers above the sand, and most creatures have already withdrawn into shade. But just beneath that seemingly still surface, a world of hunting continues without pause, where death arrives in ways no one anticipates. Look at that flat expanse of sand. It is concealing a perfect trap. A small, round trapdoor covered in sand and silk, perfectly camouflaged within the desert. Directly beneath that door, a trapdoor spider waits in silent ambush. From the burrow entrance, countless fine threads radiate outward, turning the surrounding sand into an invisible sensing net. A cricket wanders off course and touches a thread. A split second later, the trapdoor snaps open. The spider launches out and seizes the prey, then drags it straight underground, faster than a blink. In the dark burrow, venom seeps into the cricket's body and gradually liquefies everything inside. The spider then simply sucks out the contents and leaves behind an empty shell. That is death arriving quietly from within. But nearby, another hunter chooses a far more blunt approach, ending prey through raw, unadorned force. A burrowing scorpion with pincers as wide as a thumb. It barely needs its venom. A cricket walks past, the pincers snap shut, and the chitin shell shatters. The exposed flesh is torn apart immediately by its mouth parts. Same prey brought down, but it and the spider represent two completely opposing methods of hunting. On the same patch of sand, one creature was liquefied from within and one was crushed from without. Two outcomes, and neither shows any mercy. At the smallest scale, venom and strength are evenly matched. But as size increases, the two paths diverge further, and the price each hunter must pay grows heavier. That price is most visible in a Central American rainforest. Beneath shafts of sunlight filtering through the canopy, a pit viper lies coiled and still beneath dry leaves. A forest mouse picks through the undergrowth, nose close to the ground, searching for seeds. Every tiny vibration travels up through the branches, and the eyes above immediately lock on. The pit viper strikes in a flash. Hollow fangs drive deep, pump venom, and release instantly. The mouse lurches upright and bolts through the leaf litter, believing it has escaped. But the venom has already spread silently through the body, destroying tissue. After a few more steps, the mouse staggers and collapses. Only now does the pit viper calmly follow the scent trail. Strike and release. That method saves energy. But right in this same forest, another hunter brings down prey the opposite way, by holding and never letting go. In the dense, dark, damp forest understory, a boa constrictor lies coiled. It carries no venom, but those muscular coils are enough to suffocate any prey. A mouse forges its way closer to the tree root, where the boa lies hidden. The moment the prey enters range, the boa launches like a spring and wraps tight around it. That method of constriction costs more energy, but leaves the mouse almost no chance at all. The boa swallows the prey whole right there, no need to follow a scent trail. Two hunters, two different bets. One trusts an invisible venom, the other trusts the coils of its own body. And the price each pays is nothing alike. At the middle scale, Venom and strength each carry their own cost. But if the two were forced to face each other, who would remain standing? The answer is waiting in Africa. Here, nature places two extremes side by side. On one side, venom potent enough to kill a large animal. On the other, strength capable of hauling a carcass up a tree. At the edge of the East African savannah, late afternoon, a cobra more than 2 meters long glides quietly through low grass, head slightly raised, tongue continuously flickering to probe the air. In a tree 10 meters away, a leopard opens its eyes, the powerful shoulders tightening under the spotted coat. It has just spotted the shadow moving below. The cobra stops, raises half its body, and spreads its hood wide. That threat display has made many large mammals hesitate, but the leopard continues to press closer in silence. The first strike drives straight forward. The leopard tilts aside and sweeps a paw hard across the snake's body. The fangs only manage to sink into the grass. The second time, the venomous head snaps forward like a spring. The leopard immediately leaps back. When striking, the snake is extremely fast, but changing direction is always slower than a four-legged opponent. After only a few exchanges, the leopard has already identified that weakness. It keeps circling to the side, each step pressing closer behind the snake's head, beyond the reach of the fangs. Suddenly, the snake spits venom straight at the leopard's eyes. The leopard tilts its head just in time. The spray grazes past the ear and falls onto the grass. But every missed spit drains the snake's venom reserve. The next time, a portion of the venom catches the leopard's muzzle. The leopard jerks its head, eyes squeezing shut, staggering back several steps. The snake immediately seizes the upper hand. The snake rears again. The leopard seizes the opening and drives in, pinning its head to the ground. But in that same instant, the fangs also manage to sink deep into a paw. The struggle ends only when a dry crack of breaking bone sounds. The snake's body goes limp, but the last of its venom has already entered the leopard's bloodstream. Leaving the snake's body in the grass, the leopard walks on, but the venom is already destroying its body from within, and it collapses. The leopard falls. Its chest rises and falls more slowly with every breath, its eyes seeing nothing now, only the distant sound of buffalo carrying faintly to its ears. Venom overcomes strength. Strength overcomes venom. But the next creature is entirely different. Nothing sharp can penetrate it, and no drop of venom can seep into it. An East African riverbank at dusk, murky water drifting slowly by. 2 meters from the bank, a Nile crocodile moves beneath the surface, only its eyes breaking the waterline. A herd of impala picks its way to the water's edge, stretching their necks and lowering their heads to drink. Beneath the flat surface, the long shadow is already moving toward the slender legs. The water explodes. The enormous jaws launch out of the mud, clamp onto a leg, and wrench the impala downward. It claws frantically, but it is already too late. The crocodile rolls beneath the water, trailing mud and white foam. The prey thrashes desperately in the murky current, then disappears completely beneath the surface. Not long after, the stretch of river returns to its familiar calm. The crocodile's eyes still float in the current, while the impala herd has already retreated far from the water's edge. In bodies as enormous as that, strength decides nearly everything. But nature is not built only from massive jaws and great blocks of muscle. In rock crevices, beneath leaf litter, or inside tunnels under the sand, there is another world entirely, where a single drop of venom can accomplish what muscle cannot. Beneath the sand, the spider still waits behind its silk door. The scorpion holds its pincers ready among the rocks, and the snake waits in darkness for the first signal from prey. On the grassland, the bodies of the leopard and cobra gradually become part of the savannah. Out on the river, the crocodile lies still, as though the battle of the afternoon never happened. From the smallest creatures beneath the earth to the giants ruling the waterways, every species carries its own weapon, sharpened across millions of years. And right now, somewhere out there, another hunt has already begun. One careless step, one very faint vibration, sometimes that is all it takes to decide life and death.